Okay, good morning. Let me turn that on. Yeah, we're off to a great start, aren't we? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I've been on the air for now 34 seconds, and YouTube has already sent me a message saying that would be a great place to put an ad. Watch people leave instantly if I started doing that. All right, I am Legal Vices. This is Legal Vices, and we are here on this lovely, lovely Thursday night, 10:06 here in Korea. Sorry to be late. I was having issues, of course. I thought I would have them worked out by the time that we all got here, but obviously I didn't. Actually, the main thing is I have a very, very, very bent and touchy microphone connection between my microphone and the computer, and I got a new cable for it, but it's too short. I needed a 3-meter cable, and they sent me a 2.5 meter cable. So if I touch the microphone, it's likely to cut out on us. But with that, let's get on with our day today. I've been chatting backstream a little bit. We've got our check-ins here from Tennessee. I know we've got some Australia going in the house. We've got people from my old neck of the woods, my hometown there in Brigham City and Logan, Utah. Where else are we checking in here quick? As you know, we always like to start this at 100 people. We got 105 people here now, so there we go. It's time to stop beating around the bush and get going. It is Amber Heard, and one of the things we're going to be talking about is life in Australia. But before we got that, I have the official Johnny Depp Megapint Legal Vices Pimp Cup, and that is chock full of gin and tonic, but I've got the Yeti cooler, so I'm using this as a supply vessel so I can keep it nice and icy and refill as necessary. And I just sort of refilled my mouse pad too. Cool. All right, so we've got the gin and tonic going. As you know, it's always a great thing to have you here. The mods are here in force. We got a little bit of bots going here last night. So again, it's members only, subscribers only for 1 minute. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. You know you're going to like this. And hit the like button. We've got 136 viewers and 72 likes. So half of you haven't done your job. Half of you get down there, hit that like thing. Let's let YouTube know we're here. Hit the notification button too. I've talked to several longtime people that have been rocked with me from day one that have said in the past couple of days they've been unsubscribed and the notifications have been turned off. So if you are a member and you are a previous subscriber and you aren't able to chat right now, that's because of that. Everybody look down, check to make sure you're still subscribed, and the little bell notification, slap that bell in there, and we'll get going. And as always, not required. It's not even encouraged, but hey, if you want to send a super chat, that's the quickest way and the most surefire way of letting everyone else know what's on your mind or asking me a question. I'll answer the question, I'll address it, and we'll get to it. Again, it's not a requirement. There's no minimum super chat required to get me to pay attention to you. I try to pay attention to what's going on in the chat anyway, but there's so much going on, it's hard to do. You super chat, it brings up lots of pretty colors. It gets instant notice, and I address your question, answer it, address your other issues, and whatever. It's just your way of supporting me and talking to each other. Now, Amber Heard, that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about Australia, so we're bringing on our local expert, the Law Patrol. Welcome.
G'day. Nice to see everybody.
Are we enjoying an adult beverage this evening?
No, I've gone the exact opposite. I'm enjoying a childish beverage. Dragon Ball Z Spirit Bomb energy drink.
Sweet.
It's 10 past 11, so if I'm going to keep my eyes open, I need a bit of a hit.
Well, you're clearly not an alcoholic because I need the drink to keep my eyes open. And we mentioned the super chats. Let's get the 3 super chats we have out of the way here right now. Xcomer, and again, it annoys me that you refuse to tell me whether you want that pronounced triple Z or just Z. So thank you for the super sticker. That is deeply appreciated. Great way to kick us off. Flux at Panzer Prison. Hell yeah. I am not in prison tonight, and I never am. Maybe when it gets to be winter, we'll have to change that. But hey, free the beast. Not that free. It's the American pants I'm not wearing. It's not the British pants that I'm not wearing.
I can't talk. I'm sitting here in jeans, so
Just got the undies on, because otherwise it would be sticky to the leathery. Bleh. All right,
Fair enough.
that out of the way. Too much information, everybody. Kitty Cat, thank you for your super chat. What's up, everybody? Time for our daily dose of our favorite drunken lush. Yes, I brought Law Patrol on today. Yeah, I think you're talking about me. We love you bunches. We love you too, Kitty Cat. All right, all the niceties are out of the way. You chat are the greatest chat on the internet, hands down, no questions asked. So you guys do your thing and ignore me like you usually do, and I'll talk about today's topic, which is Amber Heard. And before we kick off, we have Australians in the chat. We have a real live Australian lawyer with us. So I've got the Angus Young contribute hat on. I don't have a proper schoolboy hat, but this is the closest I've got. So please forgive me.
Don't give me too much credit. Let's be honest. I mean, look, I've been following the whole Amber Heard stuff since 2015, but at the same time, a lot of it's been speculation. That's part of the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing at the moment. So, a lot of it, sometimes you just got to wing it.
Well, you're able to fake it better than I am, probably, but all things Australian. So the first thing we have to address is everybody knows is no big surprise on Twitter, on YouTube, on the news. Everybody's going on and on and on about the changing of the guard. Elaine Brederhoff is out. A new dude is in. She's changing her legal team. Just a couple of articles, read real quick on that, and we'll give our two thoughts on that. Let's bring up this screen. We'll have to do the under screen because my screen has too high a resolution and I can't read it if we're on the side like this. It's too small for me to read because I'm old. All right. Amber Heard parts ways with her lawyer who defended her in Johnny Depp's defamation case. Elaine Brederhoff is out. Two attorneys who defended the New York Times against Sarah Palin are in. Okay. This is Vanity Fair, so there's a slightly left slant to this and slightly Amber Heardy supporting kind of slant to this, as you can expect. Amber Heard has parted ways with Elaine Brederhoff, her lead attorney in Johnny Depp's defamation case against her, in favor of lawyers at Ballard Spahr, the firm that recently defended the New York Times against Sarah Palin. David L. Axelrod and Jay Ward will lead the appeal, while Ben Rottenborn of Woods Roger will stay on as co-counsel. There should be a hyphen there, Vanity. This is the perfect time to pass the baton, Brederhoff said in a statement that a Heard spokesperson provided to Vanity Fair. I've pledged to Amber and her appellate team my complete cooperation. I just like to think that was Elaine saying,
had to be
fuck you. I hope that would almost redeem Elaine Brederhoff in my mind if that I pledge my support to Amber was just a fuck you to her.
Same way she probably pledged the legal fees back to us. So let's be perfectly honest.
Yeah. God. I just love that. I like to think that is absolutely intentional. And until she tells me it's not, I'm going to think it was. I pledged to Amber and her appellate team my complete cooperation and assistance as they move forward on paths towards success. Not a very wide path, not a very long path, but yeah. The legal teams on either side of the defamation case became as familiar as the stars at its center. While the trial was live streamed over 7 weeks, well, I guess 7 if you want to count the deliberation. In the spring, the overwhelmingly pro-Depp viewers turned content creators on TikTok and other social media cast Brederhoff as an incompetent scold, while one of Depp's lawyers, Camille Vasquez, was seen as a heroine and possible love interest for her famous client. Vasquez has a boyfriend, simps. Brederhoff has also represented Heard publicly in interviews on Today, an unfortunate thing that was, and for an NBC News Now documentary on the trial. It's unlikely that the appeals process and therefore the lawyers on the case will garner much attention. Oh, I bet it's going to garner attention. Lawyers, maybe not so much.
I think there's going to be a little bit of scrutiny. Let's be honest. I mean, Camille sort of set the bar, so everyone's going to be looking at Amber's new representation, going, stack up this time around. I mean, surely they can't be anywhere near as bad as Elaine was, but I think there's going to be a bit of scrutiny.
I hope they're not, because they're probably charging a fuck ton more.
Yeah,
and rightfully so.
Yeah, no, I mean, I looked into these guys when I first heard about it. These guys supposedly are, top of their game. So I'm surprised that she didn't bring these guys in the first place. But it might just been that she'd had Elaine for that long that she couldn't be stuffed passing the baton at the time.
It seemed reasonable, and I'm sure Elaine wasn't the first stop on the Please Help Me tour. But I'm pretty sure there was quite a few high-powered trial lawyers that said, "Nah, I ain't gonna touch that one."
I would hope so.
Speaking about the lawyer switch, a spokesperson for Heard said, when it comes to protecting the fundamental freedom of speech, right of freedom of speech, we look at the jury's decision, to paraphrase a famous quote, not as the beginning of the end, but merely the end of the beginning. Well, Amber Churchill there. A different court warrants different representation, particularly as so much new evidence is coming to light. Two things about that comment that I think are interesting. Warrants different representation. Absolutely correct. In the vast majority of cases, at least in the U.S., appellate lawyers won't handle trials and trials won't handle appeals. It's just a different skill set.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how is it with solicitors and barristers?
Well, I mean, over here it's sort of, you can go obviously from Supreme Court to the Court of Appeal and that sort of thing. But by the time you wind up going up to the High Court, if it makes it that far, which is very, very rare, you're looking at making sure that you get some very skilled lawyers. But going from a Supreme Court to a Court of Appeal, you might look at adding a second barrister. But given how specialized our barristers generally are in terms of their work and what they're involved in, you don't really necessarily have to change. Generally, if you're going to change lawyers, it's going to be because you are unhappy with the representation.
Okay. Where it's just kind of it's a matter of course, really, from a practical standpoint, to go to someone whose specialty is appeals, who knows the appellate court judges well, who knows what arguments they like, and has the skill set to meet the procedural requirements as well as the argumentative requirements. The other thing was particularly as so much new evidence is now coming to light.
Yeah, what the hell is that about?
In Korea, the appellate level, you have the district court, the high court, and the Supreme Court. The high court is also a trier of fact. So essentially, you could just get a do-over when you appeal in Korea. The court, the appellate court, the high court in Korea will hear additional facts as well as law. The Supreme Court is only a court of law. But in the States, the trier of fact is the jury. All of the facts that were assumed, all of the evidence that was presented is exactly the same in the appeals process. The appellate court will only look at whether or not the judge committed an error of law that is so egregious it needs to happen all over again. Australia.
Yeah, well, I mean, in terms of going to the Court of Appeal, you may be able to raise certain new issues, but there has to be a damn good reason why it wasn't brought up at first instance. It genuinely has to be a situation where it's been specifically covered up or there's been fraud or something like that. But for the most part, yeah, you're looking at arguing points of law. It's just, it sort of stuns me that that there's situations where a higher court's even looking at new facts, to be perfectly honest.
Well, Nuya says, in Germany, the appellate level is a trial court, but limited in civil matters. Well, the interesting thing is Korean law is built on Germanic law. It went from Germany to Japan to Korea. So German civil law and Korean civil law are actually very, very similar.
Okay.
Which is always fun. You know, like it in, we'll say the English speaking world. The Anglo-American law. You're reading through the law journals and things, and then you'll get these Latin phrases thrown in all over the place. When you're reading through Korean law journals, they're throwing around German legal terms instead of Latin legal terms, and I know what that means. So then I got to go find out what this 83 letter long word means, and I still don't know what it means when I look it up.
So do you have to refer to a German to Korean dictionary first before you go from Korean to English, or are you able to just jump from German to English?
Oh, I wish I was. But now there's a big trend going more towards the English and Latin. But yeah, it was everything was like in Chinese characters and German, all of the references. Brendan Lesko, thank you so much for the super chat. Can we get some background on Law Patrol? Oh, yeah. All I know is he's a lawyer who forces Joe Neerman to drink.
Hey, I don't force him to do anything. He enjoys that.
Yeah. Ow, twist my arm. Yeah,
exactly.
That's one thing you forget. We talk to each other. We go on each other's streams. The law tube community. We forget that some people might not know about them. So let's burn through this real quick, and then we'll give you a background. We'll bring up the screen and stuff. And Tracy Fagan, that is the same law office that represented TMZ in DVH.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was not aware of that. Huh. Cool. I see. So for their part, Axel Brown. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say. I think that Amber saw exactly how well he was able to represent and tear into Elaine on the stand. So I can see why they would have been trying to organize that.
Yeah, cool. All right. For their part, Axelrod and Brown said in a joint statement, "We're confident the appellate court will apply the law properly without deference to popularity, reverse the judgment against Ms. Heard, and reaffirm the fundamental principles of freedom of speech." This is just they're going to try to run this on a First Amendment freedom of speech thing, and I think that's a mistake. This isn't really a freedom of speech issue. It's an exception to a freedom of speech thing they have to defend against. But all right, who is the Law Patrol?
Okay, fair enough. So the Law Patrol is Hayden Glaister, who runs Glaister Legal. I've got offices in Melbourne and Southwest Victoria in Australia. A lot of my work involves corporate and commercial practice, property transfers and conveyancing, a lot of wills and estates. My father has previously affectionately referred to me as the lawyer of death.
Okay.
It's always nice. Well, you can always guarantee almost every year over Christmas someone passes away, and I've got to go into the office and deal with it. But basically, yeah. So I run a reasonably small boutique firm, but at the same time, I've practiced in Victoria for a number of years. I've run cases across the border in New South Wales. It's, I like to wear a special badge on my shoulder that says that, I've actually run and kicked ass in a case from 1,000 kilometers away. So it's always nice to be able to do that. But yeah, and basically I started a channel. Originally, it was so that I could provide some, we'll call it, it's not technically legal advice, but I try and provide as much information as I can to people, because I do find that there is a lot of misinformation out of there. A lot of people, I frequently have people come in and say to me, "Oh, we're a couple, we want a will between the two of us." That's not how it works. You've got to have one will per person. Yeah. And then it sort of moved into catharticism and just ranting on the odd occasion, getting some information out there. And it sort of spiraled from there.
Describe the catharsis, because that's exactly what Andrew at Legal Mindset did to get me. We got liquored up one night, and so he's like, "Dude, you're just sitting here venting at me. This is awesome. You need to come on YouTube and do this. People will love it." I'm like, "Yeah, no, they won't. They just, leave me out of it. I got my own daytime job to do. I don't have time for this." Went up to Seoul. He came down, and we got liquored up down here. And he's like, "No, dude, you need to do it." And before I knew it, I had like $5,000 worth of new equipment on the way. And here I am. And I had a medical exam a month before I signed up to do this. And then I had one about 2 months after I signed up for this. And my blood pressure was noticeably lower, because I have this ability to vent at people and with people rather than just screaming at the wall. How is this cathartic for you?
It's exactly the same thing. It's being able to actually get information out there and have people listen. There's so many things that, in terms of political issues, in terms of legal issues, all that sort of thing, it's just information that doesn't really get out there. And it's great to have a platform to be able to just have a conversation with people. And look, and the other thing is, yes, I do a bit of a nerdy stream once a week as well. So that one's really just some downtime for me. I might be building Gundam models. I might be opening Pokemon cards, playing video games, whatever. That's an hour or two of people viewing me in my sort of personal life sort of thing. That's, I'd be happy to do that whether or not there was one person watching, whether there was 1,000 people watching. So that's purely just me. It's incredibly cathartic to be able to do this, and it makes you very humbled to think that there are people out there that actually show up to listen.
Yeah. We've got 296 people here now, and we haven't even really got into the meat of what we're going to talk about today. And I'm even more surprised when at the end of a stream where I've gone completely off the rails, there's still 300 people listening to me, watching me. It's all right. At least it's very humbling. And then to think that people give their hard-earned money, even if it's 99 cents or $5. I mean, I'll never not appreciate that.
Oh no, and I should specify that I for super chats on my channel, I actually put that towards supplementing my pro bono work for my firm. So that doesn't actually generally, unless someone specifies that they want me to use it to go and buy a drink or something. But that's generally what I use the super chat and donations for, is to be able to do a little more good in the world. So it's very much appreciated.
Well, you're a better man than I am. And you degenerate chat, don't you think for a second that I'm going to be doing stuff like that? It's going straight back into the company.
Oh, don't get me wrong. There's times I've been tempted. I'll be perfectly honest.
Well, see, now I feel like shit. Jeez. All right. Well,
I wasn't trying to. Sorry.
I'm a degenerate. I promise. I pledge to do something for charity at the end of the year. All right. Yeah. I don't even know how to segue out of that. All right. I'm a degenerate piece of shit that doesn't care about humanity. So let's talk about another degenerate piece of shit that doesn't care about humanity. Amber Heard. How was that for a segue?
That works.
All right. That's the best I could do. See, X Homer, you use it for whiskey. Thank you. Now it's got the blessing of,
yeah, there you go,
of super chatters. There we go. Steph saying be good. Nah, never. All right. Well, we have Law Patrol on here for a reason. We've been looking at some of the unsealed documents now for about 4 weeks, not counting my vacation. The one thing that's come to light again, hasn't come to light. The one thing that's been brought up again recently is the Australia incident from 2015. And literally that's the only thing I knew about this case before it went to trial was that he'd been accused of doing some bad shit. She tried to smuggle in a pooch to Australia in 2015, and then the trial started. I paid zero attention to the UK trial. That was literally all I knew about this. I went in fairly anti Johnny Depp. Because I figure he's a drunk, he's a drug addict, he's like, I'm Johnny Depp and you're not. He's got that I'm Johnny Depp kind of thing vibe going. I could see him hauling off and beating a woman around. Right. That lasted a couple of days and was cemented within 10 minutes of Amber Heard taking the stand that she was the problem, not him. But I want to get back to the Australia stuff because that's where a lot of interesting things began happening that are tied into this case. If not directly, then very, very adjacently.
Oh, absolutely. It just goes to show that she just did not give a shit about him or anybody else, frankly. Oh, I should have checked. Yeah. What are the rules on cursing on this stream?
Well, I've been doing it, so yeah.
Okay.
the only my chat knows the only rules I have are don't say or, and this is the chat and guess, don't say or do anything that's definitely going to get me deplatformed, and don't fuck around and be rude to my guests. That's literally
fair enough.
Now, I mean, you know, each guest has their own comfort level, and as people come on, they know how cool or uncool or how serious or how lighthearted the guests are, and get to adjust accordingly. But if someone's going to sit there and drop F-bombs or things like that on the I don't like the drama. I don't like the YouTube drama. I try to stay out of that. I don't care who they are, as long as they haven't shit on me or done something bad to me. I'll have them on my channel and let them have their say. And if you're just going to sit there and say, we hate this person, this person's not in a joking manner, then I'm like, I don't need that here. Yeah. So you should be safe. They know that you hang out with the legal mindset as well. So you're one of the cool kids. Let's look at this. This is Amber Heard's motion in limine, which is again a motion to limit what should be able to be presented at trial. This is kind of, is this the one we're looking at? No. All right. I had this locked and loaded, then I resized, and then everything went out the window again. This is it. All right. So yeah, they went there to Australia in 2015, and this is what she says in her motion in limine. Mr. Depp also seeks to introduce evidence related to an incident involving Ms. Heard's customs declaration in 2015, when she and Mr. Depp brought their dogs into Australia while Mr. Depp was filming Pirates 5. Again, to suggest Ms. Heard has a criminal record and is found to be dishonest by a court. As with the King County matter, there is no conviction recorded because the Australian court instead discharged the person, Ms. Heard, without proceeding to conviction. Now, I know that Australia has some of, if not the absolute strictest quarantine laws on earth.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that I've been hammering home to people for the last 2 or 3 weeks, because some people just don't really understand it. I mean, as it is, we've got the last month have been very interesting in terms of biosecurity. So we've had to deal with foot and mouth coming in potentially from Indonesia. We've had the varomites or yarromites in terms of bees. Now, they're having major impacts on our ecology because foot and mouth had the chance to bring an $80 billion cattle industry to a halt. The bee industry has just started hitting the almonds, which is $200 million worth of damage already. And that's going to be a cascade as well, because that's going to start affecting the apple supply. It's going to start affecting all sorts of fruit and veg supply in the coming weeks as well. So there's specific reasons why we try and keep these things out of our country.
So I think pretty much the only thing that Americans in general would know about Australian quarantine laws is the Simpsons episode where the frogs got loose in Australia. If you haven't
that's
seen
what
that
we're
one.
afraid of. I'm not going to lie. That's not that much of an exaggeration, because that's basically what that is a recreation of what happened with the cane toads. So we had it was decades ago, but basically we had an issue with the sugarcane beetle, which was eating some of our crops. Someone thought they had a bright idea to bring in the cane toad to eat the sugarcane beetles. Instead of getting stuck into the beetles, they got stuck into each other. It became the ecology exploded. Now they've just become an absolute pest, and because there's no natural predators for them and they're poisonous, they've just, in the tropical areas of Australia, they've just taken off.
Well, what's the problem with one person bringing two little dogs into the country and not bothering anybody?
That's the bit where it's difficult to explain to people, because it seems like it's very flippant and something that you can just say, oh, what's the issue with bringing in 2 dogs? The issue is that those dogs could have carried any one of 37 diseases that we specifically have kept out of our country. The major one being rabies, that we may or may not know. How many rabies
cases are there in Australia?
Last time I checked, none.
And as my understanding is, it's literally been that way basically forever.
Exactly, because we've worked very, very hard to keep it out. And so the issue that we have is that those dogs were here for almost a month, interacting with people, running around on the property. They took them to a dog groomer. Let's face it, that's how we found out about this. They took those 2 dogs to go to a dog groomer, get them cleaned up. The dog groomers posted pictures on, and that's how we found out that they were in the country a month after they'd been smuggled. And you know what? I'm willing to use that terminology, because having gone through the footage of them arriving in April in 2015, those dogs had to have been carried inside a bag, and they had to have either been drugged or they had to have been asleep or something for them to get smuggled past those border officials. Because Johnny and Amber were in that terminal for 45 minutes. Those poor dogs were in the back of that car in those bags for 45 minutes.
Yeah, and that's just
yeah.
So they may have just doped up their animals just to get them into the country for a few days. That's kind of
exactly. And I mean, it's very speculative to say, but given that there's a chance that the flight crew themselves didn't know the animals were there until after the fact, there's a good chance the dogs might have been drugged for over 9 hours.
God.
So
you say it's speculative. Is that because no information has been released exactly what happened at that point in time?
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of it has been basically me digging into doing, for lack of a better term, a bit of an investigative journalism. Which,
So tell us
let's
what
face
and
it.
why you're doing it, what you're doing, why you're doing it, and what you've uncovered up to this point.
So basically, the reason that I wanted to do it is that, I mean, everyone was, I'll be perfectly honest, I jumped on the Amber Heard Johnny Depp bandwagon, let's face it. The trial was very big for a lot of people. And all of a sudden, this particular leg of the journey lands in my backyard. So why would I not jump on it? But basically, what I did was I took it from a perspective of, if I worked in the prosecutor's office, what evidence would I need to properly charge her with perjury, given that that's still going on in the Senate? So looking for exactly what information would be required, and basically following it step by step as to how the hell they even got those animals into this country. Excuse me.
Is there something like a Freedom of Information Act there that you're using, or what's the process you're using to do this?
Yes. So, I mean, a lot of it obviously has been scouring through internet, photos, news articles, that sort of thing. I myself have personally put in 2 separate Freedom of Information Act applications, one of which I'm expecting to have results back in the next probably 3 or 4 days, which would be nice. The other one, I've still got to wait until about early September, and that's simply because of the information that I requested for those ones. They've actually had to contact Amber and Johnny specifically to say yes, because one of the things
having some pushback on this a little bit. There was some reluctance to do this, but wow, tell details, deets, spill the tea, as the kiddies say.
So in terms of the Department of Agriculture one, which is the one I'm expecting back in a few days, the reason I've had pushback on that is they basically tried to say that for practical reasons, it was not appropriate to provide me with all the documents, because we were looking at 900 documents totaling 8,000 pages. They had me peel it back 4 different times to say, okay, I'm willing to accept less. I'm willing to accept a little bit less. Basically, on Monday, they gave me an ultimatum saying, okay, you need to remove these 2 very specific things, or we're canceling the request altogether. So I sort of acquiesced to that, because I figured I've gone this far. If they're going to cancel it anyway, at the very least, I'm going to get what I can out of them. So they've agreed to hand over 88 documents of the 900, totaling about 250 pages out of the 8,000 pages. But that's the Department of Agriculture, and that one I don't care so much about. The one that I'm more interested in is the one that I put into the Commonwealth Public Prosecutions Department, and they have been extraordinarily helpful. They went through their whole process of the consultation process, which is required under the Freedom of Information Act. They came back to me and suggested that I make amendments, not necessarily reductions, but amendments to narrow the scope of what documents I was after. And they basically helped me reword it, basically, so that I could be provided with the information that I was after, which I thought was incredibly helpful. You don't generally see that. So on the one hand, one department seemed like they were trying to pull back and keep as much away from me as possible. The prosecution's office, it sounds like they want the information out there, if I'm perfectly honest. But basically, so that one, because they have to release information specific to Johnny and Amber, to members of their entourage and that sort of thing, as well as members of the border force, they've had to do an extended consultation period of 30 days so that they can contact those people, say, look, someone has requested this information. What's your thoughts on it? Ultimately, it's still the department's decision as to whether or not to release the documents. But given that they've gone to the extent of saying, yes, we're going to contact these people, I'm very confident that I'm going to be getting the information that I'm after.
That's cool.
So,
is there anything you're specifically expecting to see?
The main thing that I want to see is the copy of the document that she signed. And the thing that's going to be of interest is the veterinary report of the person that actually attended at the property when they found out that the dogs were there. Those are the things that I'm interested from the Department of Agriculture anyway.
Well, that was one question that someone had asked in chat, was whether they discovered this after the dogs had left or while they were there.
No, so they were definitely found while they were here, was because the photo went up from the dog groomers. And Carol, I'll come back to the glassing in a minute. But yeah, they were definitely found while they were here. About 3 days later, they were told to leave the country, otherwise they'd be euthanized. Do I think that Barnaby Joyce went a little bit far suggesting that? Maybe. But, I mean, he was the deputy prime minister at the time. He had a bit of a bug in his bonnet. And fingers crossed, I'm going to have an interview with him hopefully in the next week or two as well. So I'll be interested to.
Oh, look at you, mover and shaker.
I'm trying. I'm very much trying. But you know, it's sort of like
I
trying to
remember
nail
that was
down
the deals. All the Australians wanted them to be prosecuted, you know, for being the uptight pricks that were using their celebrity status to flaunt the laws.
Well, that's basically what it seemed like to us, is that, you know, if you had enough money, you were able to bypass whatever laws you wanted to. And that's not the Aussie way. It rubbed a lot of people the wrong way.
And well, I guess it's something you'll have to ask, but why do you think the pressure wasn't there from the government to pursue that action?
It's a good question. I don't know if you've seen it, but the main reason why the two major charges were dropped, in my opinion anyway, was that Amber and Johnny were convinced to provide a video espousing the importance of Australia's biosecurity laws. That video, I mean, so when she went to court, that was specifically referenced in the judge's comments as to one of the reasons why she felt that it was okay to drop the two major charges. Because let's be honest, okay? So Amber was charged. She did have a charge found against her. But
what were the three charges that were initially against her? What two were dropped?
Okay, so the two that were dropped. So you've got one for importing pistol and one for importing boo. I do have that.
Whoa! Time out. We've got Legal Mindset in here. Also, what's up,
Andrew,
y'all? He said there's a meme copium raid. You cranky old Korean. Hey, meme copium raiders. Hey, Legal Mindset. Welcome. We're talking Aussie shit. So, all right, back to the three charges.
Yes. So the three main ones are the two that were dropped were the two specifically for importing each of the dogs. Now, each charge of that carried $100,000 Australian fine. So about, good to see you too. Sorry I had to duck out on your stream earlier.
You had better, more important things to do.
What was I saying? Yeah, so there was one for each of the dogs. Each one of those charges had $100,000 fine, so about $77,000 US, and could have landed at 10 years in prison. The falsifying the document, which was under the criminal code, 12 in prison, permanently offended, banned from channel. Oh, that's not nice. So 12 months in prison and whatever other thing the judge ordered. Now she based as well, so that's the one that stuck, falsifying the documents. But she got $1,000 good behavior bond, and it wasn't technically recorded as a conviction. She got a diversion.
Because that's the question. That's what a lot of people need to have explained, because she pled guilty, but she wasn't convicted, and that's what people are relying on here in the unsealed documents section here. Let's pull up the unsealed documents. Oh God, gotta expand. This is the transcript from the Australian proceedings. There's genuine remorse. Well, I guess we starts up here on this page here. All right, where the hell are we? This is why you. This is why you highlight things.
I was just thinking I'd share mine, but I can't actually find it.
Okay, here we are. This is the bench. Thank you. Okay, stand up. I used to have you read this with the Australian accent, but anyway, stand up, please, Ms. Heard. Pursuant to Section 19B1D, the charge against you is proven. So she admitted it.
Yes.
It was proven. However, by order, I release you without proceeding to conviction upon you giving security by recognizance in the sum of $1,000, a conditional that you be of good behavior for a period of 1 month. Wow, such a long time there. The purpose and the effect of that order is that you must be of good behavior for 1 month and not commit any further offenses. And if you do, you could be called upon to pay the $1,000. There is no conviction recorded. So what I'm going to do is ask for the courtroom to be cleared. Ms. Heard, if you can remain, please. My assistant will deal with the paperwork, and that will be dealt with very shortly. So explain that. Explain how she can be convicted but not convicted.
And that's really the bit that stuck in my core as well. As I said, a lot of this was based on the fact that they did that video. I mean, frankly, the $1,000 good behavior bond for a month was always going to be irrelevant. She was never going to pay that $1,000. She was always going to be out of the country for that period anyway. How on earth was she ever going to commit any sort of crime to cause that to be an issue? But basically, the diversion under 19B is all the evidence is there that you committed the crime, but the court finds that it's in your best interests to not have a conviction recorded. So you've been naughty, but we're going to let you off with a warning, basically. And the main reason for that is even this particular crime, so the falsified documents, this is my opinion, I'll be perfectly honest, but it makes a hell of a lot of sense. Once there's any conviction against you or that can potentially carry a jail term of 12 months or more, automatic cancellation of 404 visas. It gives the government the right to knock back. It makes it very difficult for her to ever get back in the country to work on any movies or anything like that. That's the major reason that people are coming out and saying, oh, well, why wasn't Johnny charged, this, that, and the other? And, that Amber was taking the fall for him or whatever. I don't believe that for a second. That's not the point. There's more than enough evidence to suggest that Johnny was off his face on that plane. Let's be perfectly honest. I'm not going to lie. There's footage of him getting off the plane. He's still out of it.
Well, there's video of him going, too. So, yeah.
Well, there's not only that. I mean, as he's driving away from the airport, there's footage of a news reporter talking to him as he's driving past. And and she goes, how's your hand? And he says, oh, yeah, good. I'm growing a third.
All right.
So yeah, but there's sort of speculation that was why people are alleging that she took the fall for it because he was here first and it would have affected his career and that sort of thing. But I mean, at the same time, it's like we should have done what we could to get rid of her anyway. I would have been very happy if she'd never been able to set foot back in Australia. I don't think she will now, particularly with what's going on. But
well, that raises again. So she says, "I'm guilty. I did it." He says, "Okay, you're guilty, but we're not going to enter a conviction. We're going to have this 1 month thing hanging over your head." What happens after that 1 month is over if she's been a good little girl?
Absolutely nothing. The good behavior bond's revoked. She goes about her way. There's no record of it anywhere. Honestly, it was so hard even to get that judgment. I found that judgment out of the unsealed documents before I could get it out of the court. So that's, yeah.
And how often and in what types of circumstances would that type of an arrangement be made?
Look, it's a good question. I don't necessarily have the figures on that.
I mean, just anecdotally, I guess.
Anecdotally, I'd expect it for most first offenses for things of those particular levels of charges. Newspapers at law received. Excuse me. Sorry, the energy drink went down the wrong way. Just give me a second.
Joke it out.
Yeah, that's basically it. What was I saying? Yeah, I would expect for the most part for first offenses for these smaller versions of the crimes. If she had actually been charged with the two higher crimes, not a chance in hell. That was never happening. In this instance, there was very much a reason for it, and as the judge said in her judgment, that video that was made played very heavily into that. I very much think Australia got the raw end of the stick in that. I mean, she did better acting as a zombie in Zombieland. Let's be honest.
And it wasn't only until after this court was over that I realized she was the hot neighbor chick in Zombieland. And it was the beginning of the trial. I figured out she was in. I mean, that is just where the audacity of her saying, "I expect to be the same salary as Chris Pine, Jason Momoa, Zendaya."
What the hell was she on about?
Yeah, it's like, okay, I remember something about he had a girlfriend, and she was that chick in the it's not the Avengers, damn it. What's the DC version of the Avengers?
Justice League.
The Justice League, yeah. It was her in Justice League, and so then someone mentioned Zombieland. I went, what? And oh, that's how much we all knew who the fuck Amber Heard was at the beginning of all of this.
Exactly.
So in Utah, we would, back in my hometown, we'd call that a plea in abeyance, which is basically you plead guilty and then they hold the conviction in abeyance for the set term. And if you go that set term without committing another crime, it's just erased and dismissed, and it's as if it never happened.
Excuse me. Yeah, see, something like that I would understand. I personally do not agree with Section 19B deferences. I do think that when you commit a crime, there needs to be some record of what you've been effectively convicted of, even if you're not actually convicted of it.
But with the plea in abeyance, too, the record goes away as well at the end of the abeyance period.
Oh, no, I get
totally
that.
gone.
But I mean, in this instance, in this instance, even if she had done something and had to pay the bond, the conviction wouldn't have been recorded. So that's sort of what really annoys me about this.
Even if she has to pay the bond, even if she does something, that's messed up, I have to say.
Yeah, that's where I fall on it as well, because I don't like the whole idea that you can do something and have it completely expunged like that, particularly if you've done something that would ordinarily warrant a jail term.
Okay, well, that leads to the next question. Let's go back to what Amber Heard's lawyer said at trial. Here, it's in her motion in limine anyway. She didn't say it in trial. Mr. Depp also seeks to introduce evidence related to an incident involving Ms. Heard's customs declaration in 2015 when she and Mr. Depp brought their dogs into Australia while Mr. Depp was on Pirates 5. Again, to suggest Ms. Heard has a, quote, criminal record and has found to be dishonest by a court, as with the King County matter. She's saying, is this just Elaine using an absolute technicality of language? I mean, that just seems like she was convicted and she didn't have a criminal record, but she really did. I mean, what's your feelings about Amber Heard using that particular mechanism of law to be able to stand up in court and say she does not have a criminal record and she was never found to be dishonest?
No, well, and I think the other thing is as well, here is where where the UK case starts to get pulled into it as well, because we've got to take that into account too. The whole God, now his name's escaped me. Hang on, Murphy. I want to say Kevin, but
RoboCop.
I think it might be Ben. Yes. No, that's Amber Heard's witness statement. You're gonna have me laughing.
Sorry.
Okay,
well, while you're chasing that, while you're chasing that up, I'll clear off some super chats here.
Yeah, go for it.
We're way up. But first of all, before we do that again, God, I'm such an idiot. I need to have guests on more, so I do this more. Everybody, go to the Law Patrol's channel and subscribe to him if you haven't done so already.
Oh, yes, please do. I'm only like 70 away from 3,000. When I do, I'm having a big blowout.
Awesome. He's going to get a blowy when he gets 3,000. So hurry up and help him get there. Go to his channel. Get him up to at least 3,000. How far away are you from 3,000?
About 70, I think.
Well, there's 531 people here. 70 of you, get your ass over there and subscribe to his channel. Get the Australian perspective on a lot of this. That is a definite requirement. Do it. And while you're going over there, hit the like and subscribe on me too if you haven't done that already. So, Mr. Upper Torso, I just love this nickname. This is the dumbest super chat ever. Can you cover the long-running maritime law joke in Arrested Development one day? Wow, it's stupid but fun. It has totally slipped my mind. I don't recall there being a maritime law joke in Arrested Development, but I'll do my homework and I will do it. And remind me on our next Maritime Monday, which will actually be one Monday from now, not this next Monday. Thank you so much for Mr. Upper Torso. Soy Mafia, are you going to say something mean about me? Okay, nope. Thanks, great. Gunplay, I'm expecting he keep taxidermy tarantula. Me?
Oh,
no.
No.
What?
What are you kidding me? That's what I do on my Friday nights, putting those together.
For Friday nights, Farron Balance and I, we hang out and we talk about ghosts and conspiracies and paranormal and stuff like that.
I had seen that. That's
any stories to tell you, we'll have you on.
No, fair. None off the top of my head, but there's plenty of haunted places around Australia, so I'll certainly do some research for you.
We'll have to work it on. Soy Mafia usually complains about my green wallpaper. For some reason, that's just upset her since day one. I like my green wallpaper. It contrasts and emphasizes Godzilla well.
Yeah.
And Cthulhu's behind the sliding doors over here. So, Soy Mafia, thank you so much. Ishcade forever. Hayden Johnny looked dope up from his finger.
Yes, he was. He was on some very heavy pain medication because when they came back on the plane,
he licked dope up from his finger. I've only had 2 gin tonics so far. Okay, let me read that like a literate person. Me, law talking guy. Hayden Johnny looked doped up from his finger. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And
so we need to
all the
clarify.
booze and pills he did.
We do need to clarify that the plane flight where they brought the dogs in was about a month after the finger incident. So yes, he was bandaged up. He was very much doped up for pain and that sort of thing. If there was anything else going on, I'm not going to speculate on it. I choose to believe that whatever he was on was for pain reduction.
And speaking of looking doped up, Libby asked not a super chat, but a very interesting question. Sorry, I think I missed it. How did they get clearance at the airport?
Because they were at a VIP terminal. So the Brisbane airport, the VIP terminal is run by a separate company. They did still have border officials and whatnot attend. They spent 45 minutes inside the terminal. There was guys that actually met them. There was one guy that met them at the plane. So there's sort of some debate as to exactly who got the dogs off the plane but past that guy before he got on. Because there is footage of him waiting as the plane taxied.
It's like they're smuggling cocaine into the country. Why?
That's exactly it. Like, what's the point?
Just get the shot. What's the quarantine period for
10 days?
For dog? Get the shot. Put the dog in a damn crate for 10 days and then pick him up.
More to the point, she got told that if she had put the dogs into the cargo, which 9 times out of 10, most having to travel their animals like that, it would have been fine. Because they would have just been on the plane, been declared, had their 10 days, because, Amber and Johnny were here for a lot longer than that, and it wouldn't have been any sort of issue. And she wouldn't have had to have lied on a form. She wouldn't have had to have had all of this palaver, basically. So, honestly, it's just ridiculous.
I don't get it either. Amy in Boston, thank you so much for the super chat. Amber forever thinks that she is above the law. Lock her up. Love your content. If she comes back to Australia, what do you think is going to happen?
It'll be interesting.
What's the sentiment there?
Oh, people want her charged. That's the long and the short of it. There is footage of our senators literally banging their hands on their desks, asking exactly what the hell is taking so long. And in general, the public, they're just pissed off. Let's be perfectly honest. That's the long and the short of it. There's a lot of people that don't care, but the people that do care want to see her charged. I very much don't think we'll see her back on Australian soil anytime soon. And look, and Amber, I'll put this out here, just in case you do have anyone watching. We still have a little thing called private prosecutions here in Australia. So if the government doesn't come after you, I can tell you right now that there's plenty of people that might lodge their own prosecutions. Not naming any names.
Explain private prosecutions. This is fascinating.
So private prosecution, basically any private citizen can bring criminal charges against an individual if the police do not do so. Now, they still have all the same burden of proof that the police and prosecutors do. It's very rare that it happens. The most recent one was because someone tried to have our premier, so our state governor effectively, charged by concealing information in relation to another premier. A little bit of whack job stuff, let's be perfectly honest. But you can still use it. It's still on the books. So whether or not it's likely that someone actually would ever do it. There's certain people out there, don't know who, that might do it just for kicks.
Law Patrol. Yeah, just somebody that
Just someone with a little bit of knowledge is very dangerous. When all you have is a little bit of knowledge, you can be very dangerous. Let's just say that. But no, look, I think more than likely what's going to happen is that once the federal government actually gets their rearing gear, basically. I mean, because at the moment they're sort of saying, oh, we're waiting for information from the FBI and all this sort of stuff because they're taking witness statements from US citizens and all sorts of things. But once they actually deal with it, my gut feeling is that she'll be tried in absentia, so without actually appearing. We'll still have to do international service honor and all that sort of stuff. But I'd be very surprised if they don't just get in there, get her convicted, and make sure that she never gets a visa to come again.
Okie dokie. Let's hope she never goes there and bothers you again. Brendan Lesko, thank you so much. Law Patrol, I'm trying to remember the name of a train robber from back in the day. Operated a few hours north of Melbourne. Do you know a name by chance?
Ooh, that's a very good question. There's been a few, I'll be perfectly honest. Hang on, let me see if I can pull up. This will be great content. Just give me a second.
Well, we can go on to Tracy Fagan here while you're doing the Zombieland. She played Too Stupid to Live character. Staff, thank you so much for the super chat. Legal Vices, please have the Law Patrol check his subs. Thank you. When you finish that, please check your subs.
Yep, fair enough.
Let us know how you're doing.
That's probably the wrong webpage to be looking at. Great Train Robbery Museum. Brett, I'll get back to you, honestly. Unless it was Ronald Biggs, 30-year life sentence. Could well be it. I don't know. I'll look into it and get back to you. The subs.
Yeah, how we doing on the subs?
So this is how much focus I pay attention to. 29.58.
So what's that?
32.
32. Come on, we need 32 more people. Get it. We've got 549 people here. So if all of you go there, he can be well over that. So just get there. And again, only half of you have liked my shit so far. So hit that like button on the way out. Hit the like button and then go to his channel. He desperately needs it.
What was I going to say?
Now, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say it's sort of it as I was saying, it basically all tracks back to Kevin Murphy and his testimony in the UK case as well, because he basically made statements. I mean, I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but he basically said that she had specific that got her the lighter sentence, that had specifically asked him to lie on her behalf, and that she had tried to get her assistant at the time to either lie or take the fall, or at least say that the paperwork had been started when it hadn't. I mean, he'd specifically told her in 3 different mediums, so by email, text, in person, that there was no way that those dogs were allowed to get on that plane. She knew. She absolutely knew.
Well, she also blames Johnny Depp. That's one of the new things to come out of the news here. Where are we? Bring this screen up. Amber Heard blames Johnny Depp for letting her take the fall for the illegal what?
The illegal rest of the headline.
just for the illegal. Who the hell is this? Geo News. That's probably a legit news source. For the illegal. All right. An unearthed clip. I don't know if it was really unearthed. It was just released. An unearthed clip of Amber Heard and Johnny Depp showcases the exes fighting over having Heard take the fall for Johnny Depp's decision to bring her and the dogs to Australia in a private plane.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure I've seen this.
In the audio tape, Heard can be yelling at Depp for, I don't know if we've actually heard the audio tape, Mr. News Reporter, yelling at Depp for helping me with my thing that you got me in trouble with. Thanks. Well, that's vague. Let me take the rap for that and then not help me. Thanks.
Bullshit. He did a lot to help her.
Yeah, the Amber stands are just saying, oh, you know, that's proof right there that it was all Johnny Depp's idea and he forced her to do this, without realizing that Depp, on the other hand, appears unaware and even questions, got you in trouble with, what was it? What did I get you in trouble with? You don't even know. But his herd carries on, saying, the dogs that you brought into the country with me for your movie on your fucking plane, and then let your fucking wife take all the shit, I assume that's what that expletive was, for it. Thanks. Oh, just like the home wrecker. God, she's even just shitty when... Anyway, yeah, so that's her allegation there, is that it was all his idea and he set her up and let her take the fall to protect him, which is kind of sort of in line with what you may have been suggesting. That it was just, she has to take the rap for it so he can continue to make money.
Wasn't it. I was saying that there's people specifically putting out articles exactly like that, saying that he made her take the fall. I don't believe it for a second, personally. I mean,
what is your personal belief?
My personal belief is that she wanted the dogs on the plane. She wanted them in Australia because she is used to getting her own way. I mean, there's plenty of people that have said that Johnny had specifically told her that he didn't want the dogs brought with him. And look, again, it's circumstantial. It's based on the photos. There's no real audio or video of it. But there seems to be this oh shit moment where Johnny realizes as he's getting off the plane that she's brought the dogs with him. Because his head of security, Jerry, gets into what appears to be a very heated argument with Anne 15 seconds after she gets on. Because it appears he himself is she brought the dogs.
You broke up a little bit. Can you repeat that last sentence?
Sorry. There's pictures that suggest that about at least like at most a minute or two after she gets off the plane, that Jerry Judge, who was Johnny's head of security, basically confronted her about something. Now, as I said, it's very speculative, but it appears that he himself has just found out that the dogs are here. And that sort of seems to be the point where Johnny's gone, oh shit, she actually did it. Now, again, this is all my own personal information based off what I'm basing it off the photos and what I can tell from the situation. But that's my personal belief, is that that's exactly what happened. I don't believe in too many coincidences, basically.
And I would say that makes the most sense, or at least she just browbeat the fuck out of him until he caved in and said, all right, we'll bring the dogs. But
which is altogether possible. But I mean, Jerry Judge was already here. As she's getting off the plane, there is photos that show him being, for lack of a better term, aggressive with her. He was very upset about something. And she basically, for lack of a better term, calls Johnny over to say, Johnny, deal with Jerry, something's not right here, he's not happy, sort of thing. I can't think of any other reason why that would be the case.
Well, we've just hit the 1 hour mark here. We've got 564 current viewers. Thank you all for being here. We've got 346 likes here, which is great.
2,999 subs.
Boom! Somebody, we need one more sub. Get over there. Get
Thank
over
you
there
very
and
much,
sub.
people.
One of you. Just one of you get over there and subscribe. Hit that sub. We need to get the Law Patrol up to 3,000. Who's going to be the hero? Are you going to be the hero?
There we go. Thank
Boom.
you. Very much appreciated.
There you go. Hit him over the bump. Now he gets a blowy from somebody or something like that. Or what was it?
I said I was going to have a blowout.
Well, same thing, isn't it? I don't know.
I'm married, dude.
Well, that's every day, right? That's why you get married, huh? Yeah, fantasy land there. I was there once. Yeah. Promises.
Geez.
Sorry,
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Mrs. Law Patrol. I was being a degenerate. I
yeah, it's fine. She hears worse. It's fine.
But that and for me, again, people have been unsubscribed. So if you are a subscriber of mine and you can't chat or you realize something is wrong, please look down there and make sure you're still subscribed. Make sure you're still getting the notifications. And if you're brand new here, this is what we do. We talk law. We have Maritime Law Mondays where we talk about maritime law things, because that's really the only thing I actually know anything about. That's my bailiwick. Then we talk about stuff the rest of the week. And then we do Fridays paranormal conspiracy. This weekend we're talking about the Romanovs, Russian mysteries, and Bigfoot to begin with. So that's what we do here. If you like any of that, hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. And just a quick preview of what's going on tomorrow, being Friday. Fair and Balanced will be on here. We'll be doing the paranormal, unexplained Bigfoot, Russia, Romanov, because Fair and Balanced has a very, very intimate connection with the Romanov family. She'll be talking about that, which is fascinating to hear about. Monday will be Drex. Will be a Drex stream, my first Drex stream. If you know who Drex is and you like Drex, come. It'll be great. If you don't know who Drex is, pray to whatever deities that you believe in that you will like it. Come and check it out. Stick your toe in the water. See if Drex is for you. If not, please don't unsubscribe. Just come back on Tuesday. Everything will be back to normal. If you don't like Drex, also please don't subscribe. Don't unsubscribe. Just come back on Tuesday. Everything will be okay. But if you like Drex or you want to figure out who Drex is, he's one of the most rationally based, red-pilled, unbreaded, manosphere, alpha male people you'll ever meet on the internet without being a complete psycho. So that's what's coming up on Monday. Tuesday, what was I going to do Tuesday? Oh, yeah, my Tuesday stream is going to be the latest in the Stephen Avery Making of a Murderer situation. His lawyer filed a new motion based on new evidence, and we'll be going over that motion on Tuesday. So that's kind of a preview of what's coming up on the next few days. So if that's interesting in any way, shape, or form, and Wednesday we're probably going to start the O.J. Simpson opening statements. I'm old. I was in law school. The end of my second year of law school, the summer vacation, the beginning of my third year of law school was when the O.J. Simpson trial was going on. So we're going to be looking at those opening statements and some other things. That's what's coming up. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and go. Don't just stop. Don't stop Law Patrol at 3,000. Get him up to some more. Go over there, subscribe. All right, that's out of the way. Again, if you anything you want to say in particular, super chats are the way to go. That's the second and last time I'm going to mention that during the stream. All right. What? Legal Vices, you're taking our job away, so I'm going back to sleep. Stay awake, Steph. Stay awake. Earn your mod position. I'm done. I'm just the last thing. Again, anything you want to ask, anything you want to say, anything you want to get out to Law Patrol, anything, just super chat. Not required. No minimum. Not even encouraged. Just do it if you want. Yes, Drexel, the Baldo man. And if you don't know what a Baldo is, don't Google it. No. But we'll be talking about it on Monday, I'm sure. And
just to specify,
anyway.
W Daisy, it's gone 1:15 midnight, so it's the 19th now.
Oh yeah, and feel free to bail anytime you want. Stick around as long as you want. Whenever you got to go, you got to go. Otherwise, stick around.
Oh yeah, no. It's Friday tomorrow, so I'll be having a fairly lazy day. I haven't got any clients booked, thank God. So I'm all good.
Well, where does Amber Heard go from here? If you were her spokesperson, if you were her advisor, if you were her lawyer, what would be your advice to her for what we do next?
Probably set my passport on fire. Because the other thing is that Tim, there is probably next to no chance she would be extradited. So it's more if she actually decides to set foot here. Because hang on, I've got it in front of me, what they're looking at charging her with. Just give me a second.
Okay, well, issued forever. What time on Friday? Same time, 10 p.m. my time. I guess that's 9 a.m. Eastern time, 2 p.m. London time, and 11 p.m. Canberra, Australia time. Got to have Canberra time, because Hey.
Oh, personally, I go Melbourne, but it's all the same time zone.
Australia has 2 time zones, don't they?
Oh, we've got like 3 or 4, depending on which state you're in. Because you've got, in New South Wales and Victoria, you have Australian Eastern Standard Time. Depending on whether or not daylight savings applies, that pushes forward an hour. Queensland doesn't do that. So if daylight savings is in effect, then New South Wales, Victoria, and Queensland are all in different time zones. Then as you move into the centre of the country, you've got New South Wales and South Australia. I'm pretty sure South Australia is a half hour behind to an hour and a half, depending on whether or not it's daylight savings time. And then you've got
Yeah,
Western
Arizona
Australia.
does that too. They like go 30 minutes. Why? Why would you fuck everything up that badly? It's like India and Arizona, and now apparently a couple of places in Australia are 30 minutes off the rest of the world.
I mean, no sense. Yeah, absolutely. If you want to time travel, you come to Australia. You can literally cross a border and be an hour, 2 hours, or hell, if you hop a plane, you can fly across. 8-hour trip, you can be in a different day.
That's what I love about going from Korea to my hometown in the U.S. I usually arrive 10 minutes before I left. But then it takes me 2 days to get back. So,
yeah, that'd mess with you.
Arizona doesn't do daylight. Arizona used to do like a 30-minute time difference, didn't they? I swear to God they did, because I remember making fun of them when I was a kid. Whatever. This really has nothing to do with Amber Heard. So what would you would recommend that she burn her passport? What else?
Yeah, well, I mean, let's face it, because
You're her life
if she
coach.
stop breaking the law,
yes,
channeling my inner Jim Carrey there. Because I mean, look, if she's found guilty, I mean, so giving false testimony under the Crimes Act, so that's the major Commonwealth Crimes Act that she'd be looking at, because it's a federal crime. Maximum sentence 5 years imprisonment. Now, depending on how many times she specifically lied in different court appearances, because I mean, she can be charged multiple times with perjury, depending on whether or not she did it on a specific day or whatnot. It's not isolated. It's not a single charge potentially. That's the reason why I want the document to find out exactly what she's being, what they're looking at. So the thing that I'm interested in from the Department of Agriculture is the briefs that were provided to the ministers. That's the other thing that I really want to look at. The documents that were tabled in Parliament saying this is what we're charging you for. This is all the background. That's what I want to see. But yeah, so 5 years. It's a long time for her to be stuck in some sort of... I'd be hoping that they jail her up in Queensland, nice, hot and sweaty during the wet season, so she can feel some reasonable pain, as bad as that sounds. Actually, that's a horrible thing to say. I shouldn't say that.
Yes, you should. All right. Well, see, that's kind of... I mean, what I suggested, I mean, she, more than anything else, needs a character rehabilitation. My advice would be drop this ridiculous appeal. Get one of your sugar daddies or if insurance company, if you have something for civil liability insurance, which you probably don't, just pay off your goddamn debt. I think that if she would just be willing to say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that, I was wrong, I just made up these accusations, Johnny Depp would waive the judgment. I know he would do. I just know he would do that.
He probably would. I think she's in too deep.
Yeah, well, she being a narcissist, she has zero ability to actually do that. But barring that, pay the damn judgment, lay low for at least 5 years. Just disappear off the fucking radar for 5 years, and then come back to do commercials, public service announcements, and slowly work your way back in.
Lifetime movies.
Yeah, keep your mouth shut and stay away. That's the only chance she has to rehabilitate herself. Or I thought, couple of quick super chats here. Law Patrol, I thought about visiting Australia, but fuck them huge spiders.
It's not the huge ones that you got to worry about. And this is going to make me sound so redneck and bogan. Oh, sorry, I realized that word is not I'm sorry, I had no idea that that's something there. I thought that was an Australian exclusive, so please excuse my vernacular. The other day, while I was live on stream, I had a small spider crawling up the wall. The only thing that I had within reach was a wedding present from my previous mentor. I was not going to use that. So I punched the thing to death. It was just how I reacted, because I wasn't going to slap it, because that would have just been horrible. But no, as I was saying, it's not the big ones that you got to worry about. So the really big ones here in Australia, for the most part, are your your huntsmans, which are mostly like they'll give you a bad bite, but they're not.
They're like a good wolf
venomous.
spider in the States, yeah.
Yeah, more or less. I mean, the ones that pop out of the ground when you're walking past and bite your foot, they're nasty. They're
Trapdoor
venomous.
spiders, yeah.
Yeah, trapdoors, funnel webs. You don't want to go anywhere near them. But it's also your whitetails, your redbacks. They're the ones that you got to check your shoes for every morning.
What's the big nasty one that Peter Jackson modeled Shelob after? It was like a box spider or something like that.
That's actually a very good question. That probably would have been.
It's like apparently one of the most venomous spiders. But as Terry Pratchett said in The Lost Continent, everything in Australia is poisonous.
Pretty much everything in Australia wants to kill you, at least in some way, shape, or form. It's a rough country. It's why it's rough and rugged. Spider is she based on? Oh, so she was based on the New Zealand tunnel web spider. So that's not Australian.
Yeah, okay. I thought it was based on an Australian spider.
Yeah, no, it's a New Zealand exclusive, but it's not that dissimilar to some of the stuff that we have here. It looks very similar to a funnel web spider, but yeah, no. To be honest,
have you read Terry Pratchett?
Yes, I have read some.
Have you read The Lost Continent?
Ooh, I don't believe I have.
Oh, you have to read that.
Okay,
the introduction starts out with, "This is not a book about Australia. No, it's about somewhere entirely different, which happens to be here and there a bit Australian. Still no worries, right?"
Sounds about right.
But it's just about like the last continent that the gods built and just kind of threw everything. Yeah.
Makes a hell of a lot of sense. I mean, people think, okay, so let me lay down a few of the major points that people don't understand about Australian wildlife.
Well, hold that thought and tell me if how accurate Terry Pratchett got. This is one of my favorite quotes. Mm-hmm. It's about a guy that was just like wandering around Australia. He decided to keep a journal in the hope that this might help. He looked at the recent entries, probably Tuesday, hot, flies, dinner, honey ants, attacked by honey ants, fell into waterhole. Wednesday, with any luck, hot flies, dinner, either bush raisins or kangaroo droppings, chased by hunters, don't know why, fell into waterhole. Thursday could be hot flies, dinner, blue-tongued lizard, savaged by blue-tongued lizard, chased by different hunters, fell off cliff, bounced into tree, pissed on by small gray incontinent teddy bear, landed in a waterhole. Friday, hot flies, dinner, some kind of roots which tasted like sick. This saved time. Saturday.
How accurate it is.
Saturday, hotter than yesterday, extra flies, very thirsty. Sunday, hot, delirious with thirst and flies. Nothing as far as the eye can see with bushes in it. Decided to die, collapsed, fell down a sand dune into waterhole. How accurate is that?
If you're out in the middle of the Australian outback, sounds pretty accurate. I personally wouldn't go after the kangaroo excrement, but the flies, the blue-tongued lizard, I mean, I've never eaten blue-tongued lizard. Crocodile's nice. And yes, you can get kangaroo steaks in the supermarket if you know where to look. But no.
No, you need to read the book is beautifully written. And it was recommended to me by an Aussie. So an Aussie named Tony, who's like, 'cause I was talking about how cute kangaroos are and things. He's like, he said they're fucking 800-pound rats, mate.
He's not wrong. That's just it. So that's a few of the things that I need to clarify for people. Okay, kangaroos, fucking scary. Okay, think of someone that is as tall as you are. They look like they've spent 8 hours at the gym at least twice a week. I like
the pictures of like the really buff ones, that like
the really buff ones, or the ones that are just sort of laying on their side with their leg in the air, and they may or may not be scratching themselves. You see that frequently than you expect. But the point is, if you ever see a red kangaroo sitting in a waterhole, don't go anywhere near it. It is literally there to tempt you into the water so it can drown you.
Oh my God.
I know. The red and the claws. Oh my God. What else is there? So not a lot of people know that ostriches are Like, they can be quite interesting to watch, but they're also not the biggest birds that you need to worry about. Size-wise, they're big. Cassowaries, scary as fuck.
Cassowaries?
Same size as cassowaries.
That sounds like a dragon that lives in a castle. What the hell is a cassowary?
It's very
I've never heard
similar.
of this creature.
Trust me, feel free to look it up. It's basically a bird about the size of an ostrich with velociraptor claws and a massive ass horn on its head. These things can gut you with their head. That's a dinosaur.
I
know. Welcome to Australia. It's Jurassic.
Cassowary, W-H-E-R-R-Y.
Hang on. I'll see if I can. Hang on.
How do we spell it?
Hang on, I'll chuck it in the private chat.
Cassowaries. Okay, there we go. It's a bird. I've seen those before, but I didn't know they had. They're like emus with blue heads.
Yes, and big ass horns and very big claws.
And a giant like duckbill platypus kind of ridge on the head looking thing. Oh my god.
Look, they really are like dinosaurs. You come to Australia, you're going to get Jurassic kicked. Okay, that was not good.
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, good.
That was a bad pun.
All right, let me.
What was it? I'm bring up the other one because
picture.
Go
ahead.
Sorry, I saw someone mention in chat that they want that koalas are really cute and all that sort of thing.
Bears.
They're still scary as shit. You piss one of those off, honestly. If you hear one of those growling in the middle of the night, you would think it was something out of a fucking Stephen King movie. Okay,
guys, I swear to God, we're gonna get back to Amber Heard in a moment, but this is too much fun.
And look, whilst they will attack you and fuck your shit up. Particularly, they will attack your feet, and that's what I know. It sounds ridiculous. Wombats can be terrifying, but whilst a koala may not kill you, if it attacks you, you are more than likely going to get an STI from it.
What?
The entire koala population has
like koala AIDS. What? They don't have koala AIDS. What are you talking about? Get out of here.
No, it's chlamydia. Honestly, it's
Look at that.
How is that thing not scary as shit? Imagine running out into one of those.
And this is the size of an emu. It's like the size of an ostrich. It's like, fuck you, I'm eating you for dinner. It's like a Jurassic turkey.
Exactly. And the funny thing is, they're dying out. They're being killed off by other scary ass wildlife.
Oh, nice. There's something out that hunts that. Great.
Yeah.
Well.
So,
okay, anyway. Now this is one thing that I just wanted. Again, all in good fun. We have a political satirist who just died a while ago called P.J. O'Rourke.
Mm-hmm.
He's just Mr. Political Satire, and this was written back in the 70s, I believe, late 70s, early 80s. It was in 1976. It was in National Lampoon magazine, where P.J. O'Rourke wrote about foreigners around the world, a brief survey of the various foreign types, their chief characteristics, customs, and manners. In alphabetical order, Australians were number 3 on the list. And how accurate is this? And of course, the Americans are not on there because we wrote the article. Australians, racial characteristics, violent, loud, alcoholic roughnecks whose idea of fun is to throw up on your car. The national sport is breaking furniture, and the average daily consumption of beer in Sydney is 10 3/4 imperial gallons for children under the age of 9. Making a shambles is a required study in primary schools, and all Australians are bilingual, speaking both English and sheep, possibly a result of their countries being upside down. The local dialect has 400 terms for vomit, including technicolor yawn, talking to the toilet, round trip, meal ticket, and singing lunch. It is illegal. I'm not going to read that sentence. Can't talk about those things right now anymore. Ye gods, that was a bad sentence that did not age well. The recent destruction of Darwin by a hurricane was actually a cover story for the regrettable coincidence of paydays on 3 separate sheep stations. Good points. Amusing zoos. Proper forms of address for an Australian. Steady there. Cool off. Oh, for Christ's sake, not in the sink. And stay back, I've got a gun.
Well, not that one anymore. Not since 93 anyway.
Yeah.
But 93,
and
95.
Do I want to read this joke? Okay, anyone that's offended by jokes, plug your ears. An Australian fellow asks, this is an anecdote illustrating something of the Australian character. An Australian fellow asks his girlfriend for a fight, but she says she doesn't want to because she isn't feeling well. What do you mean not feeling well? He says. You know, she says, I've got my time of the month. What do you mean time of month? He says. You know, I've got my period. What do you mean period? He says. You know, I'm bleeding down there. And she opens up her pants to show him. Jesus, he says, no wonder you're bleeding. They've done and cut your cock off. And there's all my questions about Australia right there.
Look, fair enough. I think the main one that we need to address is that we're a nation of alcoholics. It's a fair characterization.
But I mean, some of my that sounds like weirdly like Caucasian racist. Some of my best friends are Australians. But the thing that I have noticed, I think it's a characteristic of Australians, absolutely fair people. If you're fair with them, they're fair with you. If you cross them, they'll fuck you up. And I think that's why you have a lot of the bikey things there, because that's the biker things. That's like, the Hells Angels motto is treat me good, I'll treat you better. Treat me bad, I'll treat you worse. And I think that's very much the Australian here. Absolute, everyone I've ever dealt with has been honest, fun to be with, and absolutely fair and above board, as much as you're fair and above board.
Yeah, well, and I appreciate that. I mean, look, it's one of those things where, look, the fair go is basically the main thing. That's one of the main things that Australia prides ourselves on. We believe that everybody should have a fair go, whether it's a fair lot in life, whether it's a fair shake of the stick, basically. And yeah, it's very much a case of
Alan's also an Aussie. I'm still here, legal advice. Oh, sorry, I thought you'd left.
Oh, fair enough. But yeah, I think it's just who we are and sort of how we've developed. It's it's part of our culture to just give everyone a fair go. It's very difficult to explain it any other way.
Absolutely. Kitty Cat says Aussies sound like Cajuns. Okay.
Gonna have to explain that one a little bit to me better.
Cajuns are the French immigrants that moved to Louisiana. Kind of the rough and tumble folks. Sure. I wish I was drunk. Thank you so much. Genuinely sounds like Ireland too.
Oh, we love our Irish down here. We really do. You guys are welcome anytime.
Maybe that's why I get on with Aussies is the Irish in me. Flux says, how back to Amber Heard. Nice segue here. Well, first let's get over to this one because it has nothing to do with that either. Tracy Fagan, did you ever get to the trailer park while on vacation? No. I got as far as Vegas. My sister would not drive the extra 200 miles to the trailer park, the Hicksville Trailer Palace that featured so prominently in the trial. We were so close to getting there. And law of self-defense, he couldn't get there because the roads weren't amenable to his touring bike. So I did not get to the Hicksville Trailer Palace to see where all this shit went down. But still, it's still a life goal.
Fair enough. Just one thing before you're back on to Amber Heard. I just want to address you will get a laugh out of this, okay? Because it does go back to the whole thing that I was talking about with Australians being seen internationally as drunks. They had to, so we've got, how you guys have, the Americans have, what are they called? Not Formula One. We call them supercars.
NASCAR.
NASCAR. Thank you. Yeah. That was going to annoy me. So we have an equivalent called supercars, where it's basically, it was Holden and Ford, so GM and Ford, going around Mount Panorama in laps and that sort of thing. That was always the big thing. Because of the amount of alcohol that people were taking, they had to limit how much BYO alcohol you can take into that particular event. So I just want to clarify exactly what people were allowed to take in per day. A full carton of full strength beer, so 24 cans. A carton of light beer.
24 cans is
that's a serious limitation. Okay. On top of that, you're allowed to bring in 30.
Shit, I'm not going then if I can't bring in 26 cans.
On top of that, you're allowed to bring in a carton of light to mid-strength beer of 30 cans.
Oh, wait. Okay. All right.
A carton of premixed spirits, 24 cans. A carton of cider of 24 cans. A cask of sealed wine. 2 375ml plastic bottles of spirits, which must be in the original manufacturer's product unsealed. And, ore, I should say. This is all ore. God, that was me being an idiot.
I thought it was like cumulative.
Did I?
Like, holy fuck.
Or 750ml bottle of spirits. Now, as I said, that's the limit. Jeez. But here's the thing. That was not enough for people. People were going out there a week beforehand and burying booze so that they could then dig it up and drink it during the race.
I saw that for like some music festival recently. Someone had buried like bottles of booze months in advance and came back for it. That is brilliant.
Isn't it great? The only trouble is actually remembering where you've buried it.
Yeah.
Because Mount Panorama is open. I used to live in Bathurst where it is. You can go up there. You can just drive around the track when the races aren't on. My uncle did it once backwards in a shitty little hatchback. That was fun as. Yeah, it's one of those things where I found it so hilarious when I heard about that, because listening to Eric Banner originally talk about that on Top Gear, that was hilarious. Watching a bunch of Brits realize that we were burying booze. God, that was hilarious.
The light bulb went on when I saw the video. Just a little forward thinking. I appreciate that.
But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to digress. I thought you'd get a good kick out of that. So, but anyway, back to Amber Turd.
That's just awesome. That's just beautiful. And I feel guilty for smuggling in a couple 100 milliliters into the baseball game. What, I'm limited to an entire bottle of booze? Oh, well, fuck me. I'm not going then.
I'm limited to 24 cans. What the hell am I going to do at the 25th?
Jeez. Well, all right. That's funny. All righty then. We've had our little interlude.
I should clarify. That was per person as well. So each person could bring in 24 cans. But that was a serious restriction.
Wow. Have you dropped back down under 3,000 subscribers yet?
Good question. I'll have a look.
All right, everybody, again, before we get back in, head on over to Law Patrol. Give him a subscribe. He is a top-notch guy.
I try.
Just want to make sure you're still oh my God.
Beavis unit, what the hell?
Uh-oh, what's she doing now?
No.
What has she done?
She's showing her support, which I very much appreciate.
How much of her support is she showing? That's the question.
No, we're not getting anywhere like that. All right, where are we?
Flux, thank you so much for your super chat. Says, how does Amber Heard get men? Men, there's always somebody that will stick his dick in crazy. Always.
Yeah, and the scary thing is, fair enough, I'll shut up. The trouble is, no matter how attractive someone is, there's always some guy out there that's sick and tired of her shit. Let's be perfectly honest.
Yep. I understand that level of hotness covers a lot, but damn, I get how she gets a woman. But as a dude person, how does she get dudes? There's someone's going to simp for it. There's someone's going to do it. There's someone like Elon Musk who just wants to make another notch in his belt as he tries to repopulate the earth. He and his dad.
Repopulate Mars.
Yeah.
Oh, power to him. I'm never going there.
Hootskin says, hi, I'm someone. All right. Wow.
Wow, they're sticking in a vacuum cleaner. I love chat. I really love chat.
My chat is just insane. Crystal says, do you want another mod? I'm a Farron mod, so I know what's up. Yeah, we've got a couple new mod slots. We need some mods in this time zone, like in this area. So yeah, send me an email, theillegalvices@gmail.com, and we will throw your name in the hat. Oh God, how do we get back on track? Okay, well, hey, right. So we've advised Amber Heard what to do. Apparently, she does have business offers out there, and the way it sits here, according to this article, bring it up. Amber Heard offered multi-million-dollar pornographic film role. The actress has been approached by Zen models. I mean, I would download it. I wouldn't pay for it, but I would download it from someone who did pay for it. Well, she's flashed the titties in a few movies, I think, didn't she? Like back in the day, or have I just seen?
Don't know. I can't remember whether or not she was one of the ones that got caught up in what was so eloquently called the fappening, that iCloud leak or whatever it was as well.
I think she's just done a couple topless films. One Amber, one Cup. Yeah, no.
Winning reality.
Might be Jeff will pirate her ass. No, wait. Which one were you looking at?
Sorry. Where are we? Oh God, chat's moving too fast. About two down from that one. I'm not used to having this many people watching it with VR.
Honest. You can be abused by Amber too. Nice. Alan, yeah, why not? You can be my only male mod. Seriously, all of my mods are women. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but no. Oh God,
it's because I don't take shit.
Wait, God, chat, you're just being too chatty. So, where the hell did this go? God dang it! There was one. Oh yeah, Drew Bradley says yes. She has about 4 different topless screens, or so you've heard. Get that. Hey, that wasn't even an intended pun, but all right. Yeah, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's names have been in the headlines all year, ever since their high-profile lawsuit came. What the fuck ever happened to editors? God damn it, I hate this fucking online shit.
Oh, tell me about it.
This online media.
Part of my shtick is that I go through the Australian and international news most nights, which reminds me, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for you guys in America. Coffee and some laughs for you. But the simple fact of the matter is the number of articles that I read through where it is just ridiculous punctuation, or it's a ridiculously long sentence, or they just leave words out that make no sense whatsoever. It drives me nuts.
And the illegal, that was where the fucking headline ended last time. Yeah, I do bemoan the end of editors. Mm-hmm. And I'm not a grammar Nazi. Can we say? I'm not a grammar police. Probably shouldn't say the N word here. Or either.
That's all right. It just means we hit Godwin's law early. That's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a grammar policeman, but still, at least have some basic fucking command of if it's not even command of the language, just have a little appreciation for what you're going to put out on the internet as an article. Have a little pride in your work, for God's sake. Off my soapbox. Now it appears as though Zen models are hoping. Of course, this is an article about Amber Heard and porn. So why do I expect things? Now it appears as though Zen models are hoping to take advantage of the actress's elevated profile by offering her a role in a pornographic film. Long ad. It's been reported by Australian outlet Pop Topic. Well, they sound legit. Have you ever heard of Pop Topic?
Yeah, they're sort of like a second-rate TMZ, in my opinion. So take that as you will.
Wow. Wow. Okay. That Heard was approached with a deal worth $9 million to star in a film. That's a coincidentally close number to what she owes. to star in a film entitled High Voltage. The shocker.
Please let it be electrocuted. Please let it be electrocuted.
I just thought you should give her the shocker. Amber Heard's porn offer.
Shocker.
We've been in contact with a group of adult film production companies who are interested in offering Ms. Heard a contract to act in an adult entertainment production, said Veronica Madarian, president of the agency. Legal, my Beavers unit, you have problems. Hot Pockets. Moving right along. Madarian continued to say that the agency hoped to offer Heard a solution to some of her presumably financial problems while we search for new faces in adult film. Hey, the clock is ticking, Amber. If you're going to do it now.
Got to do it before they hit the floor.
Yeah. Heard is yet to comment on the matter, and it's likely that it will continue to be the case. It does not seem as though she will accept the offer. Hey, but it's out there. Would you, I mean, you, not necessarily you, Law Patrol, but I mean, you as in all listeners, would you watch it? Would you go see it? Don't pay for it. Anybody that pays for porn is a simp. Don't pay for porn. This is 2022. There is no reason to ever pay for porn.
Absolutely
it's
not.
There's someone is doing it for you to be the hero. Find that hero. Read chat is horny 69 2 in the pink one. God damn it. This is why I really sometimes regret saying that I will read every super chat I get.
Oh no, look, I've had to put a thing in place for certain super chats. I will save them for what I call Kinky Corner, which happens at one very specific point in time each week. It's very after hours. But they do get read.
Yeah. See, people just assume everybody is like Nick Rekieta and has 500,000 subscribers and literally does not give a fuck what people say. We still have to be careful.
Yeah, especially, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I'm hugely appreciative to now be over 3,000 subs. If I lose 1,000 subs, that's a third of my viewership gone.
Yeah, I remember that was kind of one point when I felt comfortable when I lost 200 subscribers for doing something. Can't remember what it was. I think I said the C word and something else, but I lost like 200 subscribers in about 3 days. And I just had to laugh because I remember when I didn't have 256 subscribers to lose.
Yeah, it's true.
So would it be out of
perspective?
Go ahead, sorry. I mean, would it be out of Amber Heard's wheelhouse if she were to participate in a porno film? If she were to participate in an adult video? I don't think so. Because we have this other latest news, another Amber Heard update. Steph, hang on just a sec. We'll get back to this here. I like this picture, by the way. It's a good Amber Heard picture.
You can almost see the cocaine line.
Thank you so much for the super chat again. You have a few people who want to be mods on this time zone, so I can leave. No, you're not. I'm one of the horny ones. You're not leaving, Steph. My Beavers unit, Steph, you're my two mainstays. You guys rock. I couldn't do this without you two. You must stay. You cannot leave. Even though you have COVID, you still have to hang around. Don't leave. Was Amber Heard becoming a madam and a groomer like Ghislaine Maxwell? Amber Heard reached a level of power that compares her to Ghislaine Maxwell. Marca, I guess that compares her. That's like what I sound like during my Fuck It Friday drunk stream. Is Amber Heard reached a level of power that compares her to Ghislaine Maxwell? Again, we're saying.
I forgot about the time. Sorry.
Amber Heard. House inhabit on Substack. All right, we're getting a quick few super chats here. We need to address them. Tin Tennessee, no, I've seen enough of her already. Hayden, your kinky corner is early in the morning for me.
I keep forgetting. By the time the time zone works out, I usually get to around 11.
11 o'clock your time?
No, because by the time I usually start streaming anywhere between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. So a couple hours in, after I get
what's
get
that
over
in
that
real
2 hour
time? What is it? Our time.
Our time. Oh, how many hours is Korea behind?
One.
One.
Just 1 hour.
In that case, it's usually around 12 or 1 a.m. That's when things start getting a little bit freaky.
All right, noted. Duly noted. Tennessee. No, I've seen enough already. Hayden, your king. Wait. Damn it! I deleted one I hadn't read. Now what have I done? I got to scroll back up and find it here. No, you said the same thing twice. Oh my God! Now I feel horrible. You like doubled up on that. Holy crap! I know you didn't intend to do that. Tennessee, you're awesome and I love you. I'm sorry you did that, but I'll say thank you. God, now again, Jesus. Okay, now it's on your own. Now you've just done it 3 times. It's 9:50 a.m. now. If that helps. Thank you so much. Let's get on to Amber Heard being a madam.
Oh God.
We don't know how you're not freaking out about the recent accusation. Have you heard this? Have you read this?
I had heard about it. It was something that I basically chose to ignore. I didn't think necessarily that it was out of her wheelhouse. I thought maybe there was some substance to it. But I mean, who the heck is actually going to rent any? Oh God, I can't even put it like that. Who is going to engage her services?
Yeah. We don't know how you're not freaking out about the recent accusations made by author Jessica Reed Krause through her House Inhabit Substack. She writes a detailed account of many witnesses that paint Amber Heard as an escort handler who facilitated encounters for billionaires in the Los Angeles area. Hey, she was dating Elon Musk, so I'm sure she had access to the lists, and has friends.
Mm-hmm.
She allegedly hosted many sex parties that involved some of the most powerful people in the area, and she was even accused of performing satanic orgies. Hey, in for a dime, in for a dollar, man. Just, go for it. Ring any bells? This is exactly the type of behavior that got Ghislaine Maxwell in deep trouble, that eventually got her convicted to prison for 20 plus years. This all happened before and during her relationship with Johnny Depp. See, I would expect that this would happen after, not during. Who didn't know what he was getting himself into at the time? Well, he knows now. Catwoman, ACLU, L'Oreal ambassador Amber Heard kissing Gia and slipping a pill into her mouth. Never fired her Aquaman 2. This story reminds me of Bill Cosby, Weinstein, Epstein, Ghislaine, all in one popcorn planet. House Inhabit. No, it looked familiar. Blah blah blah. Now this, I don't know if you can read this, but let's kind of bump over here and see if we. This is wild here. As the story goes, Gia was lured to Los Angeles from a small southern town in search of modeling jobs. Sounds like a Dear Penthouse. You'll never believe what happened to me. Story. As the story goes, Giselle was lured to Los Angeles from a small southern town in search of modeling jobs, where she connected with famous faces almost immediately. Invitations to gala events and nightclub openings soon followed. So did exotic vacations in Saint-Tropez with A-list actors. Her first taste of L.A. offered a thrilling alternative to the straight-laced lifestyle she was accustomed to. As a wife and mother tossed into a strict suburban surrender just out of high school, she had never partied. L.A. seemed like a carnival of new opportunities. She met Amber early on at the bar, the Chateau Marmont, during a weekend visit. Wow. The two exchanged numbers, and Heard followed up with texts about horseback riding in Texas and other childhood nostalgia they shared because of similar upbringings in neighboring home states. Their second meeting was at the Abbey in West Hollywood, where Heard introduced her to her best friend, Rocky, and made the first move, kissing Gia and slipping a pill into her mouth. I remember her kissing me and nothing else, Gia told me on our first phone call. When she woke up, she found herself alone in Amber's Silver Lake loft, deemed the Treehouse. Wasn't there a Simpsons Halloween episode called Treehouse of Horror?
There's one every year, more or less, where
right.
they do like satire episodes. Going back to that though, she kissed her and slipped a pill into her mouth.
Yeah.
No way was that consensual. I'm sorry.
Yeah. with a handwritten note on the bed beside her. She says she was confused but enamored. Because she had never been into women, the intensity of this new attraction caught her off guard. She credited Amber as being very seductive and smart. She figured out what you liked and told you things you wanted to hear. It was almost like being in a trance whenever I was around her. Wow, that's like some tawdry stuff here. Morning, had to rush out. Make yourself at home. X.A. I shall return. With that big cold sore on your lip or whatever that's about. Ugh. Monkeypox. And all right, there's way too many dudes in that picture for me. Just saying. Yeah, way too many dudes in that picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a sausage fest. The Gia story leaves Amber Heard in a bad position. Amber Heard likes the bad positions. Just saying. If the billionaire sex parties or the abuse to Elon Musk didn't make you jaw drop, perhaps the story involving a girl named Gia will. This is a pseudonym that Krause used in order to protect this girl's identity. God, punctuation for fuck's sakes. Who is accusing Amber Heard of even more messed up stuff. That's like a journalistic term of art, I believe, messed up stuff, than previously imagined. She was the one who aired all of the abuse Elon Musk was getting from Heard and how many people seemed enamored by her mere presence. Amber created cult-level celebrity status, and she filmed everything that included major billionaires who probable were doing some questionable stuff. This is the worst written article I've read in ages. At a certain moment, Gia found herself inside the most toxic relationship of her life with a person who drugged her constantly, abused her, and was crazy enough to kill her. Shortly after the end of the trial, a source referred to as Gia reached out and offering valuable insight into the bizarre scenario, in particular the intimate dynamics between Heard and Musk, and the circle they ran with. She compared to a snake pit. She was lucky enough to escape. Her descriptions confirmed every rumor and suspicion I'd collected throughout my coverage about dismissal incentives. Morale shed like old skin. Ew. And money funding the fantasies unveiled in the quiet villas on the hill. She said some things that she had witnessed were too dark for words. That's very Lovecraftian. It's horrible beyond description. The details of one secret sex party, not hosted by Musk because we don't want Musk to crush us, sounded straight out of a Kubrick production. Blindfolded participants met at a designated spot and were shuttled to a remote location where cell phones were confiscated at the door and nude women dangled from treetops secured by harnesses. With bags over. Why would you have bags over your head?
Some people are into that. It's never something that I've been able to understand. It's weird as shit, but can't kink shame. I've specifically been told by my chat I'm not allowed to.
I don't kink shame. I just like highly question people's judgment.
I think if there's a chance that it's going to end your life, all power to you. I don't need to hear about it.
Yeah. She said once you arrived, it was clear you could not just leave. If you went to fucking Hotel California, isn't it? You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. You were expected to see it through
like
in its entirety.
Motel.
What was that?
It's like a roach motel. You check in, but you don't check out.
You can check in, but you can't check it. What have I done here? I've just opened up a window randomly. There we go. Someone sending me drunk people texts. I know that. You were expected to see through its entire performance consisting of the two bagged women being fucked by devil horns and spraying cum on stage outdoors. Well, that's cheerful. Have we hit the 2-hour mark yet? We're
7 minutes to go.
7 minutes shy. Oh, well. Goodbye, monetization. And themed rooms sanctioned off during intermission with people fucking everywhere inside. Amber drugged Gia more than once. Gia explained she didn't feel safe around Amber and Amber Heard anymore. The second meeting was at the Abbey in West Hollywood, where Heard introduced her to her best friend Rocky and made the first move, kissing Gia and slipping a pill into her mouth. I remember her kissing me and nothing else. Gia told me on our first phone call. When she woke up, she found herself. We just kind of went over that a little bit here. Because she'd never been into women, the intensity of this new attraction caught her off guard. She credited Amber as being very seductive and smart. She figured out
what you liked. To do with addictive drugs.
Yeah. It was almost like being in a trance. Okay, here we go. Two had started hooking up without Amber. Gia was already pulling away after a series of questionable events. It's been questionable from the beginning if any of this is true. Convinced her she was in danger when the girls were alone together. On one occasion, after spending the night with Heard, she says she woke up and had no recollection of the time, so dazed that she was struggling to regain a sense of a steady sense of consciousness. A fog so heavy she compared it to coming out of anesthesia. I knew if I continued this way with her, I might not wake up. I don't know what she gave to me, but I knew my life was probably in danger when I was alone with her. Well, even Elon Musk was afraid for Gia's life at a certain point. He begged her to stay away from Amber because he wanted Amber and was visibly worried about her. Ghislaine Maxwell used similar tactics to the ones Amber Heard was using at the time. What similar tactic? Do you want to go fuck billionaires and make a shit ton of cash? Come with me. Is that a tactic, really? Is that really a tactic?
Depends where you're from, I suppose.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. But with other, she was not using it only with Gia, but with other women too. It all seemed to crumble down when the trials against Johnny Depp started, but Heard isn't happy about those accounts from various witnesses. Well, yeah. The Substack author is already posting stories of threats she's been getting from bot accounts. She details how Amber Heard's close circle is talking about the actress doing damage control in order to ban all her accounts in order to stop her from divulging more information. Heard seems poised to get even deeper trouble than she already is. Whatever, we're not gonna say those words. We already did that. All right, and that is the end of that article. So hey, maybe it's back to the poll with her. Because that's one thing that the documents, the unsealed documents, confirmed in the motion in limine. That was Elaine was saying all references to her past as an escort and a stripper should not be allowed in. So it wasn't anybody else other than Elaine that confirmed that that was actually the case. So she needs money.
And clearly she's worked for it in the past. So it's,
and again, I have female friends who are in the entertainment industry. So again, hey, if I was young, super sexy, and could make a shit ton of money,
Oh, don't get me wrong. All power to them. If that's their chosen profession, that's amazing for them. It's just that in this instance, it sort of is a reflection on the progression of where she took her life. Let's be perfectly honest.
No, and like I do have a lot of female friends who are in the entertainment industry, and that's the primary problem. It just crushes the soul. You get them and you go, hey, you're only young once. You make your money how you want to make your money. I make my money how I want to make my money. But then at the end of the day, it's every dude that wants to pay you, that wants to buy you the drinks, he's like, oh baby, you're the prettiest woman. I love you. You're the sexiest. I want to marry you. Only you. And you hear that 8,000 times, and then you finally stop believing men. And then when the one person that really does love you and for who you are, and you don't believe them because they're just another shitty man saying another shitty thing, and you just become so cold and jaded. And the vast majority of the friends that, okay, we're talking probably 6 friends, but 4 out of those 6 are just jaded, and that's what they're going to do. And they're used to making the giant piles of money, and that's what they're going to do. And the other 2 didn't let him shade. They had the goals, they got their goals and got out. But the rest are just, it's sad to watch them become jaded. So it's not, I'm not shaming the kink. I'm not shaming the way you're making your money. It's just sad the way it ends up. It probably ends up better in Korea because drugs are not easily accessible here. Yeah. It's not like, whereas in the States, it ends up in, you're a crack whore somewhere on the street without your teeth or dead.
I'm not going to lie. I do think that's why it's important here in Australia for that particular, at least here in Victoria, for that particular vocation. They've made some very big steps in the last 6 months in legalizing it. So I
thought prostitution was illegal was legal in Australia. Or just some places?
it was for very specific. So you had to be working out of a brothel, or you had to be working from a specific place, that sort of thing. Now they've sort of made street corner stuff legal. It's considered part of a vocation, so that if anything happens to you, say for example, if you come down with the bug, you're still covered. You still get government payments for sick leave and all that sort of stuff. And they've sort of taken the stigma out of it. So people, it's seen as a legitimate vocation. It's legitimate work, and it very much is. So it's more about just giving people protection, frankly, because it's, as you said, it can always wind up being in a nasty situation. But
Jesse Johan Macon says, "Is it legal in Las Vegas?" And actually, prostitution is not legal in Las Vegas. Outside of Las Vegas, again, it's the same thing as apparently Australia. It has to be in licensed brothels under those conditions. Streetwalkers are not legal.
But is it true that it's legal if you bring a camera into the situation, because then it's not escorting, it's creating pornography?
Let's find out.
Anyway, I just thought I'd throw that in there. I tell you what, this energy drink's kicking my ass.
I've got my 3 gin tonics down me, so I am good. That was really all I kind of had to get into today. We've literally covered everything at exactly the 2-hour mark, so that's not shabby. Usually I just talk too much and then we go 3 hours, 3.5 hours into these things. So we hit that right on the nose. That was pretty good.
Fair enough.
Make sure I don't think I've missed any super chats. Nope, I have not. I have got them all. At the Law Patrol, says my Beavers unit, who's one of my favorite mods. Yes, I call it a AA vocation because my mouth is used and I sound high class. My mods. Sigh.
It's all right. I think she's one of the ones we share. So
James Andrew Morrison. Yeah. Laughing my ass off. Only Australia would give hookers sick pay.
I know, right?
Mez, there's an Asian massage parlor about 5 minutes from me, so I've heard. Well, there's about 3,000 massage parlors from near where I live. Most of them are legit, but see, that was the thing. Is like my most of my friends are Russian, and in a group of about 10 Russian friends, they, amongst other birthday gifts they gave me recently, was a coupon for a Thai sports massage, 90-minute sports massage, which sounds great, but on the back it says only valid between 7 p.m. and 5 a.m. So I'm kind of scared to use it.
That's entirely understandable.
But yeah, half of the people that chipped in were women, so I haven't used it yet. Well, I shouldn't say I'm afraid to use it. I'm intrigued yet somewhat concerned. Yeah. I mean, I love a good massage, but it's just the caveat that it can only be used between 7 p.m. and 5 a.m. that kind of raises an eyebrow.
Yeah, I can understand your hesitation on that one. I really can. But I mean, there was a guy. Who was it? There was a guy. I don't know how many of the viewers probably have ever watched. So I know you got like the various types of Real Housewives over in America. Mm-hmm. We followed suit, unfortunately, and so there's Real Housewives of Melbourne. There's Real Housewives of Sydney. I think it was one of the husbands on Real Housewives of Sydney. He went to a massage parlor, quite possibly used a similar voucher, and he got caught out. And basically, when he came home, he said, "Oh, it's not cheating. It was just a hand job."
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
10 Tennessee, thank you so much. Prostitution is legal in 10 of Nevada's 16 counties, although only 6 allow it in every municipality. Vegas is actually not one of them. Absolutely correct.
There you go.
Myth busted. Oh, God. Now, at this point, we usually kind of wind down the conversation and go. But tomorrow is What do you got coming up in your next few days? What's on your horizon? What are you dealing with?
I just got out of 2 fairly lengthy and heavy litigation matters, so I'm sort of right in that lull period where I'm coming off the adrenaline. Couple of conveyancing matters, some wills and estates to deal with, but yeah, probably going to take it easy for the next couple of days. I've got my daughter's 4th birthday on Sunday, so I'm sort of...
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's the first one that we can sort of have since the bug and all that sort of stuff, and it's the first one that she's really actually going to remember. So we're sort of going all out. So
yeah. The first one's you're like, oh god, she's 1. Why the hell are we doing this? And 2
no,
is
no,
like, oh, seriously, she's
is
one more than one.
1 is a very specific one because that's not for the kid, that's for the parents. That's when all the adults get around.
Yeah.
First time you can actually have drinks because the grandparents are there to watch the kids. 1 was great. 2 and 3 we don't remember because nothing happened. 4 is going to be a big one because this is the first time we've had parties. Had a party where she's had friends from daycare, friends from other places. She's going to be able to run around and be a kid, which I'm extremely excited about for her. So
the first birthday in Korea is really interesting. It's kind of like you set your path for the rest of your life basically on your first birthday. I mean, it's a huge thing. You have to spend an absolute fuck ton of money because you have to invite literally everyone you've ever known in your life to some expensive buffet restaurant somewhere in some big hotel, and you have to have this gigantic display of fruits and cakes and things, and you also have, God, it's been 21 years since I had to deal with this. So you have you put out pencils, like a pencil, a money and a ruler and some string. And the child, you just put the child in front of it, and whatever the child touches, that's supposed to be his future. Like the money obviously be like a businessman, a pencil it'll be a scholar, the ruler like an engineer, and I can't remember what the string was for, but for something, for bondage, I don't know, but but yeah, so it's like this big to do, or you have singers come. It's a ridiculous waste of money, and if you don't do it, you're just a loser, and you're a societal outcast. Thankfully 2 and 3, like you said, are just kind of throwaway birthdays, and then 4, they've started to kind of become slightly human, and then it's fun to watch them have fun. Yes, so that's great. Absolutely. Well, congrats to the daughter. That'll be fun.
Yeah, she'll so yeah.
What are you doing on YouTube these days? What's on the YouTube horizons?
I've slightly just revamped the stream, to be perfectly honest, to redo the show. As I said, I sort of had to relegate certain segments to slightly different time slots. But for the most part, as I said, just current news and events. I mean, I've got various trials that are coming up. I'm hoping to get permission from the Supreme Court and the County Court to be able to actually stream some more of our actual Australian cases, because while they do put certain streams and judgments on the County Court and Supreme Court websites, you have to specifically have permission from the court to be able to restream them.
I see.
If I can get some approval for that, that's going to be very interesting, because there's a few things, in particular with high court cases, because not a lot of people get to see that sort of stuff. But yeah, basically just kicking it day to day. If anyone's got any suggestions or thoughts or anything that they want me to chase down, feel free. But the main thing I'm waiting on at the moment is for my FOI applications to come back, and then I'll really get stuck into Amber Heard, as poorly worded as that was.
Okay. As an Australian, what is the greatest Australian legal show ever created in television history?
Oh, damn. TV show is tough. Rake's probably high on my...
That would be the top of my list from what I've seen. Rake was, I mean, it's just brilliant.
Yep.
If anybody's not seen Rake, it's on Netflix, at least here in Korea.
Mm-hmm.
Rake is one of the most funniest shows you will ever see on television. It's quotable from episode 1 to the last episode.
It really sucks exactly how relatable it can be at times.
Crocodile Dundee? Oh, for fuck's sakes.
Oh,
hey,
well,
that's not a legal drama.
If we're talking movies, well, I mean,
Yeah.
By the time you get behind it and you look into his tax situation, it turns into a legal drama.
Yeah, well, I just hate what he did to his wife. That's why I can't get behind the. I mean, just yeah, I'm abandoning ship once I became famous and fall in love with a younger model. And
yeah. But no, movie
believe it or
wise,
not, I have morals. Yeah, TV wise.
No, TV wise, definitely Rake. I mean, favorite import, obviously your Generals, Boston Legal, and Suits. I mean, Suits was basically mandatory viewing for law school. So,
and I just watched that like a couple of months ago.
Really?
Yeah.
You can probably.
I mean,
depending on how far you got.
I got through the whole thing. I mean, but it literally has nothing to do with law. I mean, just do not expect anything there to be anything near real. I just love how we have this bajillion-dollar case against some major Fortune 500 company, and it goes to trial in 2 weeks.
Yep,
and it's over in one day. Yeah, sorry, that doesn't happen. But yeah.
But no, I mean, all-time favorite in terms of movies is the Australian classic, The Castle. Can't go past it. The Man Who Sued God is a very close second.
I've never heard of The Man Who Sued God.
Billy Connolly, basically.
Wow, that'd be great.
Yeah, it was really good. He plays a guy that owns a boat who's it gets struck by lightning, and basically the insurance company decides that because it was an act of God, they're not going to pay out. So not only does he sue the insurance company, but he sues God so that he could cover it. So basically, he sues the representatives of the various churches to say, well, okay, aren't you guys his representative? You're up for what he's done to me, sort of thing. And so it winds up in the Supreme. I can't remember whether or not it goes Court of Appeal or High Court, but it goes through the process. And yeah, it's very good movie. I really enjoy that one too.
For me, the greatest legal series anywhere of all time would have to be Rumpole of the Bailey.
That's a fair call.
The books, the series, everything about it is my fave. Mad Max. I don't think Mad Max is illegal. back when the original one, back when Mel Gibson pretended to have an Australian accent.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I've been here so long. I've gone native, mate.
Well, I mean, look, we tried to covet him for a period, and then he just got too crazy even for us. So, what's The Castle about? The Castle is about a gentleman who lives in an area next to an airport. The federal government decides that they want to expand the airport and take his house compulsorily. They send out a valuer, basically undervalues the property. It's an Aussie knockabout movie. He takes it through to the High Court, basically saying, well, under the Constitution, it's not right for you to be able to take my home because a man's home is his castle. Did we get to glassing? No, we didn't get to the glassing. Sorry, I'll keep this short.
No.
Short answer is no. I don't think that they'll be able to charge her with glassing. Yes, she threw the bottle. Yes, it may have been what caused the injury. I can only speculate. No one was really there. Because he specifically said to the doctor that he sliced his finger and covered it up and whatnot, I doubt that there would be very much of a strong case for the Queensland authorities to pursue her for glassing at this stage. Yes, it's very...
what the statute of limitations is off the top of your head?
I don't believe that there is one specifically for that.
Oh, wow.
So they could potentially, but for me, the requirements to get over the burden of proof would be too difficult at this stage because there's too many holes. Johnny's given them reasonable doubt, unfortunately. So I think it'd be very difficult.
Well, and I mean, would he come back and testify? I mean, if you don't have witnesses, you don't have a case.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, look, they could prosecute without him on that one, but it's not going to go anywhere. That's my personal opinion on it. So
yeah. We've got Drew Bradley. So that isn't Runkle's name. That's the name of a book. Yeah, Rumpole of the Bailey is a classic British novel written by John Mortimer, who was actually a barrister. Absolutely brilliant. It was made into an amazing series put out by the BBC. Classic literature. Yeah, Rumpole of the Bailey. Read it, you won't regret it. What about Gallipoli? I mean, that's just a sad fucking movie, you know.
Yeah, not gonna lie. All respect to our serving men and women, but No, I can't even really. It's very there's two minds as to whether or not there's some people that are still very angry at the British because of that. Let's put it that way. So,
well, so, and see, I mean that's very, very respectable. I had my advanced placement history teacher in high school, in my 11th grade high school. He was a Marine that had served 2 tours, I believe, on the front lines in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
And when it came time to get to the Vietnam chapter in the textbook, he said, look, my job as a history teacher is to give you an unbiased view of history as I understand it. I cannot do that with this chapter. You read the chapter and come to your own conclusions. I cannot give you an objective course on this. And that was the last thing he said about it. And I respected the shit out of that.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the way that there's good chunks of even recent history that need to be taught that way. I mean, giving unbiased opinions on various things is very difficult. Let's be perfectly honest with certain things. So,
yeah, we got Jesse Johanna Make on best legal book and movie To Kill a Mockingbird. That's actually one of the reasons why I became a lawyer. I read To Kill a Mockingbird when I was very, very young. When everybody else was playing cowboys and Indians, wanting to be the cowboys, wanting to be the Indians, I wanted to be the judge. So yeah, I mean, To Kill a Mockingbird had a huge impact on me when I was a kid. I mean, absolutely. And Brendan Lesko, thank you so much for the super chat. Can you explain this one punch law to me? I watched someone hold a man by the neck against a bar wall for 15 minutes because nobody would swing.
Yeah, so look, one punch law is, again, one of our reactionary ones. This came in, like glassing, it came in because it became a bit of a problem. Basically, it's almost like an aggravation to manslaughter, but one punch is it does vary from state to state. But basically, you can be done for effectively murder if you hit someone one time and it then results, whether there's a causation, whether there's something else, if that results in their death, you can be charged with murder. So whether it's
clock the guy in the head, he falls down, hits his head on the concrete, and dies. The end.
Exactly. Yep. So
I was hoping it'd be like a truly Australian thing where like you're legally allowed one punch. I was like, that'd be the most Australian thing ever. I'm moving there.
Oh no! Look, it's the same thing that I've always said to family, friends, anyone. You let them throw the first punch, but you make sure you fucking throw the second.
And the interesting thing about Korean law is essentially you do not have a right to self-defense.
Really?
If someone attacks you and injures you, and you defend yourself and injure them, you are also guilty of assault.
Wow.
You do not have a lot of room to do any self-defense here. And people say, so what are you saying? I should just sit there and take the beating? Yeah. That's why a lot of Americans are very careful foreigners are very careful about going out after dark, going into bars, getting in situations where there's even a risk of something going wrong, because you really don't have the right to defend yourself wholeheartedly. Yeah, it's and like defamation is a criminal offense here.
Really?
And truth is not a defense. If you say something horrible about someone that's true, but you say it designed to cause them economic damage or loss of face, that's criminally punishable, even if it's true. So yeah, you always know the laws where you are. That's very, very important.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You can block a punch, but you better hope it doesn't cause any injury to the guy you're doing it with. It's a rough thing. Basically, walk away.
I'm curious as to how that works when you sort of backed up against a wall. Interesting. Okay. Lisa, I wasn't going to, but I might just need to, honestly. Sort of slim pickings at the moment. So yeah, if I have to look into Kathleen Folbig, I will.
Well, on that note, it is 1:30 for you and 12:30 for me, and I got a full day tomorrow, and I assume you do too.
Yeah. So no, look, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, wait, we've got one more thing from Brendan Lesko I missed here. Oh, no, we didn't. We just did that one. Shut up, Brendan. You already got your one punch. Yeah. So thank you for being here, Law Patrol. And everybody go over there, subscribe to the Law Patrol. That's his channel. That's his thing. And he'll be back here eventually at some point. No doubt about it.
Yeah, more than happy to. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. And catch you on the flip side.
All right. And chat, thank you for being here. Mods, thank you for being here. All of you super chatters, thank you for being there. You're great. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. I'm Legal Vices, and make sure you enjoy the Legal Vices. Bye now.